Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. America, it is once again this time.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the republic back to a republic. In 2012, you're going to need one slogan. In 2012, and it's not for a candidate, it's for the republic. In 20 minutes, you will hear how the republic will win in 2004, how America will survive in 2012, how America will survive, and how we will fundamentally change this republic back to the way it was intended to be, where men could be free. Come on, let's go. Hello, America. We're 5 days away from... Has anybody noticed he sounds like he's on a treadmill all the time every time he's giving a speech? He's always like, hey, let me tell you something else about this country. I don't know if he's just gotten from a jog or what, but anyway, oops. All right, let me tell you, we are 5 days away from the election, and there is nobody who's going to cover it like Fox News. You're going to get all the polls, you know, everybody telling you exactly what's going on, unlike any place else. But tonight, I want to focus on why we are voting the way we are voting. Because Americans are not stupid. They get it. It just takes us a while. We have to get kicked in the head once in a while. You know what I mean? It's like with World War II. It's the same thing every time. Every time it's the same thing. But, you know, everybody, there's a monster growing. Hitler's growing over in Europe, and we're like, okay. After years of it, we're like, okay, wait a minute. What's going on again? And then we just put our pants on and we get the job done. Well, that's what's happening now. America's waking up, and you don't put America back to sleep. We are forced with a choice of two starkly different visions of America. Now, I'm not talking about policy here. I'm talking about you. How do our leaders see you? What is your role in the future of this republic? What do you want it to be? Do you want it to be that you just want to be coddled? Because that's one option. It's simple. You need help. Well, you can't do it by yourself. Mommy's going to come and push you on the swing at the playground, but not a dangerous swing, because sometimes swings, you can get bad boo-boos. Gee, beef, really? Yeah. You can't get moving by yourself either. Mommy will be there to push you. Now, that might be helpful when you're 4, but is that where America is now? In some ways, this path is lined with good intentions. But once you get onto the path, it becomes more and more disturbing. The entire premise of the leadership that is based in Washington now is based on the vision of you. You can't do it by yourself. You're so stupid. You're so stupid you can't make decisions that affect your life. You need them. Did you hear Mrs. Obama? She was talking about she needs $400 million for food deserts so we can make the right choices and we can have the right food available so we can all have carrots. You know what, Mrs. Obama, would you do me a favor? When you can get your husband to stop smoking in a federal building, then call me. As our president said, it's his agenda that's on the ballot. So it makes sense that the motivation behind that agenda is on the ballot too. Now, we all remember this super classic right out of the president's own mouth. Here it is.
They get better and they claim to guns or religion or antipathy toward people who aren't like them, or anti-immigrant sentiment, or anti-trade sentiment.
Yes. You see, in tough times, and this is before the tough times really started to set in, but now, can you imagine? Oh, you can't help yourself. You've got to cling to your magic sky god and your hatred of immigrants and your silly little Second Amendment. Oh, you're just not intelligent enough to realize what you're doing. But that's okay. We're from the government, and we're here to help. The president has surrounded himself with people who view you in exactly the same way. Here's Cass Sunstein, our regulatory czar.
Once we know that people are human and have some Homer Simpson in them, then there's a lot that can be done to manipulate them.
Dope! Shouldn't have said that one. This is the progressive mindset. You are incapable of making the right decision. So Cass Sunstein will nudge you, or, I liked his honesty there, manipulate you. But when do they begin to shove you, or worse? The progressive names on the ballot all across America echo the same exact thinking. This is a candidate for governor of Colorado, John Hickenlooper. He was speaking about the Matthew Shepard case and the brutal murder. Listen to this.
I think a couple of things. I mean, you know, the tragic death of Matthew Shepard occurred in Wyoming. Colorado and Wyoming are very similar. We have some of the same, you know, backwards thinking in the kind of rural western areas you see in, you know, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico.
Wow, I was just in Colorado a couple of days ago, and I was up in North Dakota, too, a couple of days ago. I didn't notice that backward thinking there in rural western areas of America. But I guess I did one of them. See, thinking Americans, well, they just wouldn't support violence against those who are different than them. But those in backwards America, this kind of thinking is a pandemic among progressives. Do you remember this super classic from the late John Murtha in 2008?
This whole area years ago was really redneck.
Okay, we had another guy who's running for, running against Rand Paul in Kentucky, saying the same thing. Well, Hicks in my territory, you know. Really, the Hicks. See, it's not just the politicians, though. They're the ones usually afraid to go on record about this, but they're strangely not anymore. The media is more free to blur this nonsense out, and they do it all the time. Watch this.
The Tea Party has a bit of an integrity problem, as everybody from birthers to open racists to outright Nazis are actually on the team.
Be prepared for those poor, dumb, manipulated the Tea Partiers to have a glorious few years as the front men, as the corporations that bankroll them slowly unroll their total control of our political system.
The teabaggers, the alleged patriot movements, that is racism pure and simple.
Okay, there you go. Now, I want to play new audio, new video. This is from the George Lopez show. I want you not only to watch carefully what he says, he's not joking. Watch how the audience also cheers for him, and also look for George Lopez's reaction. Here it is.
That's the problem with this country. They say that there's not enough bipartisanship. There's too much. If there's two parties and they're both against legalizing weed, what do we have? I mean, what's the point of having Democrats? We have Democrats for one reason: to drag the ignorant hillbilly half of this country into the next century, which in their case is the 19th.
Yes, absolutely, I agree.
I'll tell you this about Americans, about the American electorate, the voter. They love a winner. You know, as soon as he passed health care, it went up 15 points. They don't understand the issues. They're too stupid. They're like a dog. They can understand inflection. They can understand fear. They can understand dominance. They don't understand issues. But when he won on that issue, he went up.
Right.
I'll tell you something. If Tiger Woods had come back and won the Masters, he could have murdered all those girls he was.
You catch all that? We just like a winner. Sounds to me like he's describing the German people. That as long as you just present yourself as a winner, we can have a dictator. And maybe we should have a dictator, because we only need one party anyway. One that can just drag everyone to the right choice. Just an ADD moment here for Bill Maher. I mean, I just want to point out, healthcare supported. He said that the support went up 15 points after its passage. I think I have that right, but I did want to do. Here it is. 45%, 46%, 45%, 48%, 44%, 44%, 47%. Then it passes. 45%, 44%. Yeah, there's the... That's the most friendly polling in the health care bill from the Washington Post. This is before it passed. This is skyrocketing 15 points. Wow, look at that. It's great, isn't it? Look, America gets it. But back to the idea that you're just a bunch of stupid dogs. You have a choice. Choice 1 is you cannot do it. Choice 2 is you can. A dog, well, what do you do when you have a dog that's acting erratically, that's endangering the family, that's just too stupid, and it's causing problems? Well, first you might give it away. But if it's endangering everybody else, the collective family, I mean, you've got to stop them. Maybe you can train them. Maybe you can nudge them. What was that? Oh, maybe you can manipulate the dog. But that doesn't work. And all the liberals would say, how dare you try to manipulate a dog? So you'd have to put them down. Well, not around the liberals. That would be the compassionate thing to do, right? Have the dog destroyed. Well, there's another choice, I guess. You could just live by the Constitution, but they don't really want to do that. I'm trying to figure this one out. Where do you go from there when people don't comply? Well, now there's certainly a difference between the loudmouth television host and the intellectual underpinnings of progressivism, and it's a play we've seen before. This is the darkest part of the progressive mindset, and it has been showing its ugly face quite a bit lately. I want to show you some new audio tape now on the same dark network that had this abortion doctor on. I just want you to hear one piece about how abortion is good medicine and what this doctor says about moms and motherhood.
I really believe that this is excellent medicine. This is mandatory for public health and for women's health and all of our health, children's health. Women have abortions because they care about motherhood. I don't think people really realize that.
I'm trying to figure that one out. These people are so misguided. And I don't want to silence her. I don't want to silence her. I want you to hear her. I want you to ask yourself, do you believe that? That mothers kill their children because they care about motherhood. We've heard this before on this program from the BBC. Virginia Ironside, she supports Fabian socialism. Here she is.
I think that if I were a mother of a suffering child, I would be the first to want, I mean a deeply suffering child, I would be the first to want to put a pillow over its face.
That's a pretty horrifying thing to say, that you would put a pillow over.
Of course I would, if it was a child I really loved who is in agony. I think any good mother would.
Any good mother. So it's good medicine, and any good mother would do it. Hey, by the way, while we're here at medicine, researchers have just found the liberal gene. That adults have a specific gene, and they're more likely to be liberal as adults. Wow! So if I'm a conservative, am I missing a gene? You're born that way, into all that kindness and goodness and intellectual prowess? Hey, wait a minute. Am I now in a protected disabled class? Do I get extra ramps or extra money from the government? Can you not fire me now because I'm disabled? Let's not forget the study from 2003, funded with $1.2 million of your tax dollars. This is what the study found. Conservatism can be explained psychologically as a set of neurosis, rooted in fear and aggression and dogmatism and the intolerance of ambiguity. Okay, so let's just see if I have everything. Remember, the president said that we have to punish our enemies earlier this week. You are an enemy. You are filled with hatred. You are stupid. You are fearful. You're intolerant. You worship a sky god. You're missing a gene. You had no friends, because that was the other part. You're not only missing a gene, but if you didn't have friends growing up, you weren't liked, well, then you're probably a conservative. You have some sort of neurosis. You have a mental disorder. And you are a danger. What should we do with that dog? I've shown you these books before. I don't want you to take my word on any of these things. Any of these things. I want you to look them all up yourself. This one is The Phantom Public by Walter Lippmann. This is a spooky, spooky book. This one is Eugenics, the Science of Human Life. These people believed that we could breed better, smarter voters, better citizens,